The rain began to fall before the last handful of earth touched the coffin. It fell softly at first, like a whisper meant only for those who were already broken. Then harder, cold drops soaking through black dresses and thin shoes. 7-year-old Maya Holloway stood at the edge of the grave, her small fingers clenched around the corner of her father's coat that she still carried with her everywhere. It was far too big for her, the sleeves hanging loose, but it smelled like him, like home, like safety. Her father, Daniel Holloway, had been everything to her: mother, friend, protector, and now he was gone. Behind her, a woman shifted impatiently. Veronica Holloway, her stepmother, dabbed her eyes with a handkerchief that never actually touched a tear. Her black heels sank slightly into the wet ground, and she clicked her tongue in irritation as if the weather itself had personally offended her. "Can we hurry this along?" Veronica muttered to no one in particular. Some of us have places to be." Maya didn't hear her. Or maybe she did, but she had learned early that some words were safer when ignored. The priest finished his final blessing. The mourners, few, mostly distant relatives and old colleagues, began to drift away. One by one, umbrellas opened. Cars started. Conversations resumed, awkward and hushed. Maya stayed. She stared at the fresh mound of earth, her chest aching in a way she didn't yet have words for. She wanted to ask her father something, anything, but the silence answered back. A hand grabbed her arm. "Enough," Veronica snapped. "You've had your moment." Maya flinched. "Couldn't stay a little longer," she whispered. Veronica leaned down, her perfume sharp and suffocating. "Your father is gone," she said coldly. "And crying won't bring him back." That was the last gentle thing said to Maya Holloway for a very long time. The house felt different without Daniel. It wasn't just the silence. It was the way the walls seemed to lean inward, the way the air felt heavier, as though it too was grieving. Daniel had filled the home with warmth, music playing softly in the evenings, laughter during dinner, stories before bed. Veronica removed all of that within a week. The music stopped first, then the photographs. Maya came home from school one afternoon to find boxes stacked in the living room. Frames were missing from the walls, leaving behind pale outlines like ghosts of happier times. "Where's Daddy's picture?" Maya asked quietly. Veronica didn't look up from her phone. A packed away, a why, a because this is my house now. Maya nodded. She nodded a lot these days. It was easier than asking questions that made Veronica's voice sharp. Her room was next. Intuita. Daniel had painted it himself. Soft yellow walls, tiny stars on the ceiling, a hand-carved wooden bed. One evening, Maya returned to find her blankets gone, her toys stuffed into trash bags. "You're moving," Veronica said. "I need that room." "Oh, where will I sleep?" Maya asked, her voice trembling. Veronica pointed down the hallway. "The storage room. There's space." The storage room smelled like dust and old cardboard. No window, just a flickering bulb and a thin mattress on the floor. That night, Maya hugged her father's coat and cried quietly so no one would hear. Days turned into weeks. Veronica stopped pretending. Maya cooked when she could reach the stove, cleaned when she was told, ate leftovers after Veronica finished. At school, her grades slipped. Her teachers noticed the bruises, not the ones on her skin, but the ones in her eyes. One afternoon, a letter arrived. Veronica read it once, then twice. Her lips curled into a smile that made Maya's stomach twist. "Good news," Veronica said. "You're finally being useful." Maya didn't understand until the next morning. Veronica dragged a suitcase into the hallway and shoved Maya's clothes inside, most of them too small now, some torn, all wrinkled. "Oh, where are we going?" Maya asked. "We aren't," Veronica replied. "You are." She opened the front door. Cold air rushed in. "You can't stay here anymore," Veronica said flatly. "I never wanted you. Your father was a mistake, and so are you." Maya's heart slammed against her ribs. "But," Daddy said, "Your daddy is dead," Veronica snapped. "And he left me everything. Everything. The house, the money. I don't owe you a thing." She shoved the suitcase forward. A go. The door slammed shut. Maya stood on the porch, frozen. She knocked once, twice. Then the lights inside turned off. 7 years old. Alone, the rain began again. Maya walked until her legs burned. She didn't know where she was going. She only knew she couldn't go back. The suitcase was heavy. The handle cut into her palm. Eventually, she left it behind near a bus stop and curled up on a bench, pulling her father's coat tighter around herself. Night fell. Cars passed. People hurried by, too busy to notice the little girl with tear-streaked cheeks and trembling hands. By the time hunger set in, she was dizzy. That was when a black car stopped. It wasn't flashy, but it was expensive, quiet, powerful. The window rolled down. A man stepped out. Fudian, Hefo. He was tall, dressed simply in a dark coat, his hair touched with silver at the temples. His eyes, sharp yet kind, softened the moment they landed on Maya. "Hey there," he said gently. "Are you okay?" Maya shook her head. "What's your name?" Yo, what's your name?" Maya, I'm Ethan Blackwood," he said. "Why are you out here alone?" She hesitated. Then the words spilled out in broken pieces. Her father, the funeral, the door closing, the night. Ethan listened. He didn't interrupt. His jaw tightened slightly with each sentence. When she finished, he crouched down to her level. No child should be alone like this," he said quietly. He took off his coat and wrapped it around her shoulders, then gently lifted her into the car. Maya fell asleep before they reached the end of the street. Ethan Blackwood was many things: a billionaire, a philanthropist, a man whose name appeared in business magazines and charity galas. But once, long ago, he had been a boy on the streets, abandoned and forgotten, until one man had helped him: Daniel Holloway. Years ago, before the money, before the success, Daniel had shared his lunch with a hungry teenager outside a construction site. He had offered him work, then advice, then hope. Ethan never forgot that kindness. When he saw the name on Maya's school badge, something inside him stirred. He checked the records that night, and his heart broke. Veronica was enjoying a glass of wine when the knock came, sharp, confident. She opened the door and froze. Ethan Blackwood stood there, flanked by two lawyers. "Veronica Holloway," Ethan said calmly. "We need to talk. Kimmy, we need to talk." "Well, what is this about?" she snapped. "Your husband," Ethan replied, "and his daughter." Her face paled. Within hours, everything unraveled. The will, the trust Daniel had secretly set aside for Maya, the clauses Veronica had violated, the witnesses, the reports. By morning, the house no longer belonged to her. By afternoon, she was being escorted out. No one listened when she screamed. Maya woke up in a room filled with light, soft sheets, warm air, the smell of breakfast. Ethan sat beside her bed. "You're safe now," he said. "And you're not alone." Tears filled Maya's eyes. "Will you leave too?" Maya's eyes. "Will you leave too?" she whispered. Ethan smiled gently. No, I promise." Years passed. Maya grew, not just taller, but stronger. She studied hard. She laughed again. She learned that family wasn't always blood, but choice. Ethan adopted her legally when she turned 9. On the anniversary of Daniel Holloway's death, they visited the grave together. Maya placed fresh flowers on the stone and smiled through her tears. My daddy would like you," she said. Ethan nodded. "He already saved me once." Through you, and somewhere, in a quiet moment between grief and hope, a little girl learned that even after the darkest loss, kindness could still arrive. Sometimes in the form of a stranger, sometimes in a black car on a rainy night, sometimes as a second chance at family. Because love, once given, never truly disappears. It just finds a new way back.